Hi, I'm Bucky Lasek. I have a trivia question for you. Get this right and you can win my board. This is the same green issue tribute board that I rode at Pro-Tec Pool Party, and I even signed it for you.
Welcome everyone to Inside Alli Sports. I'm Pat Parnell, and today we are taking you inside skate. Bucky Lasek joins us in studio to talk about career transitions and what it's like to be a pro on four wheels. But first, imagine what would happen if you invited every skate legend you could think of to skate the best bowl in the world. Amazing, right? Well, that was the scene at the Pro-Tec Pool Party, and Inside Alli Sports was there. Check it out.
Check like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. I confess, I'm the best.
How would you classify this event? Feel good or feel bad?
Feel great event. You know, I'm glad to be here. I get to watch, like, you know, all the guys I was, you know, looking up to when I grew up skating. They're all here skating.
This is the Pro-Tec Pool Party, and it's just that, a party. It's like a family reunion here. Everybody here knows each other. We've been doing this for the last 10, 15 years.
It's the only event that I think like watching skateboarding is as fun as skateboarding, because all the guys are so good in this pool that I'm like kind of glad I'm not out there.
There's George Powell and Stacey Peralta by the judges stand. Here's the Whittier skate park crew right here, and there's like the Groms over there. We're just looking for NorCal, like over in the back of the bleachers.
I'm talking to Stacy. I'm like, does it feel weird for you to be here right now? Like, do you want to like coach them? Like, do you see the little kid in them right now? Like, what do you? He's like, yeah, it's a trip.
Every year, people do new things and they find new lines and new combos, and you know, whether it's a guy like Pedro Barros or you know somebody like me or Salva that's been skating it since the original days, it's really cool. It's a unique form of skating.
It's a very exciting time to be a skateboarder. There's a lot of there's a really good vibration out there.
The way they ride the bowl, it's like a paintbrush. It's a Picasso. Like that's what Chris Miller looks like. That's what Cab looks like. That's what Hussoy looks like. That's not what I look like.
It's the skaters' favorite skaters. That's the best part about it.
Seeing the guys, being friends with the guys that I saw in the magazines growing up is something that's intangible to most people in the world, and just to be a part of that, that's what's about.
You just watch these guys turn into kids again, and you just cheer and you clap, and if you've never been here in real life, you gotta do it before you die. Put that on your bucket list.
Bucky Lasek let loose on the Combi Bowl. We have him with us today in studio. Tell us more about that and his move into rallycross. Bucky, thanks for coming in.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Congrats on the 3rd place. I know you were working hard leading up to it, right?
Yeah, I was skating that place 2 or 3 times a week.
It's funny when we caught up with people there, I mean, everyone has a smile on their face, fans and skaters alike.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about the Pro-Tec Pool Party for you?
For me, it's the practice days leading up to the event, hanging out with everyone, people flying into town, and people you haven't seen in a while, and it's rad. It's a moment of stoke.
Yeah, you can say that. What did you have to do different to have the success that you had this year?
I kind of just try to bring something different to the table than I did in the previous years, and even though it may be harder and more challenging, I think that's where I am right now, and I'd like to be challenged, so I think that's what the Combi does for me.
Bucky Lasek is probably technically the best person here at this bowl.
Every time I've seen him skate, he's the best. I mean, he really, his tricks are the hardest. His lines are as hard as anyone else's.
I personally think Bucky's in a different league as far as it goes with lines. I'm not going to say anything because you're going to see what goes on this evening. It's ridiculous.
Was there a standout performance in the Masters class that you thought, or just even surprised you? Guys that are still skating well into their 40s.
Well, Cab staying on for 45 seconds every run and nailing out tricks was amazing, and he certainly deserves the win. He had the fire.
Yeah.
So, and he had Stacy and George there. He told me later that night that was a big moment for him, having those guys there. So he was a 14-year-old kid again. I could see him like big helmet, little face.
So when one watches the Pro-Tec Pool Party, you can't help but notice there's 1, 2, 3 generations of skaters. You guys have like Zach Miller and Chris Miller. So what does that say about skating? What does it say about Pro-Tec Pool Party?
It says a lot because you're in a bowl, you're in a concrete bowl that's straight up heritage right there, and it's a Combi. So it goes back well beyond my years, and I'm skating with guys that I looked up to as a kid.
If you were younger and someone asked you, oh, you think you'll be skating when you're 40 and 50, what the response would have been what?
I thought I'd be dead by 30.
Okay, well that's
30 was like, yeah. I'm done.
How does the pressure of Pro-Tec Pool Party differ from, say, the X Games?
When you go to an X Games, the heritage isn't there. You know, where at Pro-Tec, everyone in the stands grew up skating to these guys.
Does it mean then a little bit more when you do well there and then you get the admiration and the accolades from your peers?
Totally, yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to be respected by their peers?
Is it safe to say then that the future, not just of vert skating, but transition skating is alive and well and there's nothing to worry about?
Oh, it's alive and well, yeah, for sure. There's so many kids out there. I mean, with the skate parks being built and all, I mean, every skate park pretty much has a bowl, and there's at least a handful of kids that just kill it.
Shifting gears to rallycross,
yeah.
How much do you love racing cars?
I love racing cars just as much as I love skateboarding.
Maybe even a little more right now?
Well, right, being that coming from Pro-Tec, I can't wait to get in my car, that's for sure. For me to just jump into rallycross, you know, it's trying for me, and I have a lot of eyes on me right now, and I have a lot to prove. There's a lot of people out there that are, you know, wondering how this skateboarder gets a seat with Subaru and Puma. For me to get this seat, it was a big honor, and I really had to step up to the plate.
Here's a guy, it's kind of interesting, more sponsored for rallycar racing than skating right now. What's up with that?
He's a multi-talented individual. The world's at his feet, man. You know, he's put in a lot of work on skateboarding, and it's developed skills and talents that he just took right over into car racing, and I couldn't be more proud of him, you know what I mean?
And there's so much camaraderie in vert skating. I've seen you teach a million tricks to so many skaters over the years. Does that camaraderie exist in racing? Like,
racing?
Do you get tips from Mira and from other?
Well, Mira's on my team, and I'm sure Savetta will all be working with each other. I'm good friends with Tanner Faust. I'm good friends with Deegan. I'm good friends with Ken Block. I don't think those guys are going to be giving me tips, you know? As of right now, Ken Block said as long as I stay in his mirrors, we'll stay friends.
That's so Ken Block right there. You're not the only action sport athlete, obviously, to branch out. You mentioned Dave Mira, and then there's Deegan. Of the people that have made that transition to try all types of racing, who's done the best job?
I think Travis Pastrana has done the best job. Travis is definitely one of my biggest idols when it comes to action sports and athletes in general. Like, I put him up against anybody as far as having the kahungas and just having the brain power to actually use that. You think he's like wild in his ways, but he's controlled chaos.
Has it been hard to shift your focus from skating now
Not
to
at
racing?
Not at all, because it's almost like going on vacation, you know? When I'm skating, I'm totally focused on skating. It's all I'm thinking about. I've been professional for over 20 years. After doing something for so long, it's a nice fresh breath of air to get into something like racing.
So when your kids are asked, what does your dad do? What's their response? He's a skater?
I'm still a skater.
You are?
Yeah.
I have to ask, simultaneously, will you still be doing skating while you're doing the rallycross?
Yeah, the 6 races don't interfere with any of my skateboarding, so I'm very lucky.
Well, we wish you luck, Bucky Lasek.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming into the studio.
Thanks.
That is going to do it for another episode of Inside Alli Sports. Check back next week when we'll take you inside Street League. 24 of the world's best pros competing for the largest prize purse in history. You don't want to miss anything on the Alli Sports Network, so be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube. For Inside Alli Sports, I'm Pat Parnell. All right, so let me ask you, can you do whippets off the nitrous tank when you're driving?
It's not common. You ready? How many wisdom teeth do I have, if I have any? Hint. It's a trick question. Post your answers in the comments below for your chance to win. Do I have wisdom or don't I have wisdom? Good luck.